So the first thing that is going to come out of your mouth if you have really made a good impression is, I thought you would be taller. And that's the make or break how to Tinder if you are a short motherfucker. So first of all, let's get out of the way one fact. What is short? Most people are going to tell you that to be short, you have to be below average in height. But if you're in my kind of headspace, that is not true. Because in money, for example, the average salary yearly of an American is 50K. But if you make 50K a year, I bet you wouldn't be happy. You'll be miserable. You're going to make 50K a month. And even that is like 600K a year. It's not like you're making millions a year. It's not that great. But still, it would put you in the 1% of the 1%, making 50K a month. And the same holds true in height. Like the fact that your average is, it's not good enough in these days. Like being average gets you below average results. So even if you're average height, so like for 80% of men, this applies. So if you want to overcome the fact that height is at least not your advantage here, you're going to do a couple of things. First of all, you want to optimize your Tinder profile. You don't want to put any photos that make you short. You don't want photos with tall people that are going to make a comparison. You want to always take photos that make you look as tall as possible without it looking ridiculous, like taking a photo from the ground level and you look like a tower. But you want to get photos where you look as tall as possible and as big as possible. The other thing is that you don't want to put your height, your actual numbers height, in any place of your bio or your settings. So on Tinder, you can choose your height. Never do that. My height is 5'9". I never put it in my bio or my settings because a girl can just filter through your settings. She can put a filter on, for example, 6 feet, and she will never see your profile. Like Tinder is going to hide it from her. It's going to be a mess. Don't do that. So don't put your height anywhere and make photos that look as tall as possible. And if you want to know exactly what photos to take and what you have to do to get a lot of Tinder matches, I have a full video on that. I might even put it on a card thing right there. But the point is that you don't need your height anywhere and you want to look as tall as possible. So you're getting your matches and everything is going well because you have watched my video and you know what to do about them. And either one of two things are going to happen. Either the conversation goes great and she never asks about your height and it comes up on the date, and I'm going to tell you what to do then, but later. Or she asks you in the conversation, how tall are you? And what you have to do if she asks you in the conversation is simply reply with whatever your height is. You don't need to exaggerate, that is silly. You just need to tell her your height. What you don't need to do is make it a big thing, like don't say why do you ask me? Don't come back with a stupid response like that's my height but what is your weight? Don't try to make a joke out of it. Don't try to make like a self-deprecating joke. Nothing like that. Just tell her your height and try to move on the conversation naturally. And either of two things are going to happen. She's either going to be all right with it because everything else is very good, so she's going to skip the part where you're not that tall, or she's not going to like it and she's going to reject you from that, and you're going to feel it instantly, and that's life. But the more interesting part is if you actually go on a date with a girl that does not know how tall you are. And the interesting part is because you have made such a good impression and the girl likes you so much from your pictures and from the shit you said because you're good at this, if you know what you're doing, she has like a great impression of you. So you go to the date and she has painted a picture in her head of how you're going to be. And in her mind you're going to be like 3-4 inches taller than you actually are because you have made such a great impression that her mind paints you in a very positive light, and part of that is that you're going to be like very tall. So the first thing that is going to come out of your mouth if you have really made a good impression is, I thought you would be taller. And that's the make or break of all the guys on Tinder that are not very tall. And that's the reason that most guys that are not tall put their height in their bio because they can't stand that comment. I, on the other hand, I can stand that comment, and I have to tell you that all the girls that have said, "I thought you would be taller," all those girls I fucked. It is mad. Like, if the girl tells me that, I know I'm going to fuck that night. There's girls that don't say that, and I'm like 50-50. Girls that tell me, "I thought you would be taller," it's always a lay. Lay, whatever. The point is that she will make that comment because she has a very good impression of you and not because she instantly wants to reject you. But it is up to you what you do with that. So if you go ahead and say, "Oh, I'm sorry," or "Oh, I should have told you," or something stupid like that, where it looks like it deeply affected you, then you lost. She's going to instantly lose any attraction towards you, and you're going to be toast. You have fumbled the date. On the other hand, your approach should be the same as with any other like C test. You have to find a way to either make fun of the situation, but not in a self-deprecating kind of way. You can go like, "I tricked you," and laugh about it, or you can like very fast move on through it, but it has to not affect you mentally. And most girls are going to make the comment only as a pure observation, but some girls are actually going to make the comment as a C test. And to those girls, you have to do the exact same. You have to make a joke out of it and not take it seriously because it is not serious. The girl says it because she wants you to overcome the C test, just like any other C test. It has nothing special about it. She doesn't actually give a fuck. Like the world is filled with such losers that if you are a winner in most aspects, you can be like average height. Nobody really cares. But you have to be like exceptional in other realms, of course. But all in all, don't be afraid to go without saying your height until you get to the first date. Don't input your height anywhere. Take photos that make you look as tall as possible in the realms of reason so you get as many matches as possible. And when you get to the date, you're going to be all fine. You will not give a fuck, and everything is going to go great. So this is how you famous Tinder if you're not tall. If you want a full course on how to excel on Tinder and how to dominate Tinder, I have a full video on it right here.